There it is. Okay. What's up, everyone? It's Dr. Flanagan. I'm going to go ahead and talk you through this model. Okay, so the nervous system model is a neuron model, actually. It's probably the better way to say it. So what it is this is a cell. Okay, so it's just a nerve cell. This is the soma of the nerve cell, the body of the nerve cell. And then in the center here, this is the nucleus. It's clear. It's kind of pretty looking. It's a nice little bubble. Okay, and then there's all these processes, which are just extensions of the nerve cell body, just stick off in every direction. The ones that stick off up here, these are all called dendrites. So there's a multipolar neuron. These are called dendrites that are sticking up here. And then the orange structures here, these are going to be the axons from other cells that are attaching in either onto the soma or onto the dendrite themselves, one of the two. So these little orange things are labeled number 5. Those are going to be they're labeled as synaptic terminals in the book, but that's what they look like there. So there they are. And they're attaching to a dendrite. So it's an axon from another cell. And then we have the synaptic terminal of that cell down here. Okay, and then, so there's the axon up here, and then the synaptic terminal there, and then the dendrite of the cell in question, the cell that's on this model. Okay, pretty good little pretty good little model here. So we have the nucleus here, and then down on this side we have this this one special process, okay, that runs really long. It's much bigger than the others, and it starts off with this triangular section called the Axon Hillock, okay, and then we go into the axon. And then in an effort to make this model more square rather than like a big long rectangle that would come all the way down here, what they've done is they severed the axon right there, and then they continued the model up here. So this piece right here should just be attached down here. It should be really long, but it's just not the way they did it. All right. And the other thing to recognize is that this axon would continue on very, very far. Okay, so they can be quite long. So we have one cell like this that goes from our spinal cord and it goes all the way down to the tip of our toe, which could be something like 3/4 of a meter long, something like that. So it could be quite long, quite extended. Anyway, all right. So the axon is this gray part that goes right down through the middle like this, okay, and continues through. Along the axon, you'll see all these those protein fibers that kind of run through. So there's all these fibers. So they're kind of running the distance there. It gives you different names for these, but these are just protein fibers that are allowing these vesicles to run down this way to give us the neurotransmitters and things at the axon terminal is going to be all the way down at the bottom. Then you'll also see these little mitochondria that are in here, okay, labeled on here as number 10. And there'll be mitochondria along the way that kind of add energy or help give the cell some energy. Another thing that we have that is pretty clearly available on the cell is if this is the axon, there's another cell, it's a completely separate cell that's wrapped around a bunch of times over and over and over again, and its nucleus is right here, okay, and that cell, which it's going to be labeled, so this is label number 7. It says Schwann Cell with nucleus. And if you look at this from the side, you see it kind of looks like a fried egg on the side there. It's just one cell, and then there's like this connection point from this cell to the next. It's actually called a node of Ranvier. But there you go. That cell is just wrapped around a bunch of times around the axon to provide the axon a little bit of insulation. Then when we get to these little nodes of Ranvier, then we get there'll be all kinds of ions that can kind of get across here and help depolarize the axon. So that's what that looks like. That's what it is. That is a multipolar neuron model. Nerve cell is what the model's labeled as. All right, very good. Nice and quick. Easy peasy. Hope you guys enjoyed.